Good morning and good evening, everyone, and welcome to Raingrl TV. I'm Kimberly Williams, and I'm honored to have you with us today. In a world where headlines change by the minute and global events shape our daily lives, we're here to bring you the stories that matter the most. From the latest developments in politics and government to major world events, economic shifts, international affairs, and the issues impacting communities across the nation and around the globe, we've got you covered. Tonight, we'll break down the facts, examine the headlines, and explore the stories behind the news with clarity, insight, and perspective. Whether it's decisions being made in Washington, conflicts and diplomacy overseas, or the events shaping our future, Raingrl TV is your destination for informed discussion and meaningful conversations. I'm Kimberly Williams, and this is Raingrl TV, where news meets understanding and every story has a voice. Welcome back to another episode of the interview. I'm Kimberly Williams, host, and I have today Roberta Walton Johnson, who's running for the office of the Clerk of Courts here in Orlando. Tell us a little bit about who you are and welcome to the interview. I'm really glad that you joined the show. I'm really excited about you being here.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the invitation. So a little bit about me. I am originally from the Panhandle. That's where I grew up. Walked away with a full scholarship to attend college and became the first in my family to graduate from a university. Went to Florida A&M University in Tallahassee. Kicked off my career in service, quite frankly. Was the first female professional district executive for the Boy Scouts of America in the Swanee River area in Tallahassee. I like to tell people that at the tender age of 22, but served in the nonprofit world for several years before kicking off my legal career. I moved to Central Florida in 2002. And at that time, I became an inaugural member of the reopening of the Florida A&M College of Law.
Wow.
So kind of trailblazed into that moment, and then graduated from law school a very long time ago, and then kicked off my legal career at Community Legal Services of Mid-Florida, where I just really enjoyed that work. I served our most vulnerable population, those who could not afford certain benefits, but were entitled to them. And I fought for those benefits on behalf of those individuals. Thereafter, I spent about 8 years serving the District 6 constituency at Orange County government, and then kicked off my career at the clerk's office in 2015, where I was tapped on the shoulder to come and open up, to carry out the vision of our now sitting clerk of opening up a self-help center.
Wow.
Right. A center for individuals who cannot or just did not want to hire an attorney for whatever reason for quality of life issues. Certainly the self-help center doesn't handle all case types, but those family law matters, right? Eviction, landlord-tenant matters, small claims, things that really are quality of life issues. Established a partnership with the Orange County Bar Association and led that effort. That was in 2015. I now serve as the general counsel at the Orange County Clerk's Office. So been in leadership there. So now as a member of the senior executive team and general counsel, tasked with legislative affairs and helping to make sound executive decisions on behalf of the agency each and every day. The job I'm most proud of is I'm mom to 2 boys, Dylan and Dakari. They're 10 years apart. Dylan just graduated from high school. He's my baby with special needs, but I really feel like he's going to be the one to literally take over something one day, because he's just that bright. I'm wife to Neil. I married an amazing individual, so much so I actually call him Mr. Amazing.
Wow. Great support system there.
Yeah, very great support system. My parents now reside here. I am one of 2. I have a brother, but I'm his big boss. I'm 22 months older, but you'd think I wasn't. I have 2 boys. My brother has 2 girls.
Oh, wow.
And so we share, we share the love. So very, very supportive family, and certainly a prosperous career.
Wow.
In service.
Wow. I mean, so many accomplishments there. The law degree that you have, what practice, like what law did you study?
So as I stated, I started at community legal services, and that was kind of trial by fire, quite frankly. So civil, housing law, public benefits law,
Wow.
I did Social Security disability, a little workers' comp. So a lot of administrative tasks and a lot of legal policy, because that's really what legal services is about, is kind of making a difference. I pride myself as I was there through the transition when Medicare added the prescription drug plan to its program. And so that whole Medicare Part D, making sure that people in the community who had a right to it knew exactly what it was and how to access it. So, those types of that kind of legal policy where you can kind of get your feet wet. That's why it was so exciting to transition to Orange County government.
Wow. Wow. So not only do you have such an amazing career with your law degree, you're actually well versed in working for the people and doing things that
Yes.
people. I know kind of what made you decide to run, because you've said it in so much being, given that you have a family and your background and your career and the support system you have, it takes a lot of that to be able to run an office like the clerk of courts. But what made you say, yep, this is what I'm going to do?
So I'll tell you, politics is not new for me. Since my 8-year stint at Orange County government.
Okay.
And so going to work at Orange County opened up several doors, and it did give me that feeling, that itch as it relates to policy and governance. And so I ran for county commission, and I was unsuccessful in that stint. And I always say that's not what God had for me, because it didn't come to me, right? Because I ran very hard races. So the opportunity to come to the clerk's office and kick off this initiative, and to literally come through the ranks, the operational ranks of the clerk's office, and then now serve administratively at the clerk's office, making executive decisions at that level. I have seen the global side, the big picture side of what it takes to lead the agency. And so in having the conversations with our sitting clerk and other mentors that I have throughout, that are in this field, it was, maybe God didn't have the county commission for me and didn't give me that, because this is the direction. When you really look at the footprint in the sand, there is no better candidate to walk up and say, I'll serve. And that's really what propelled me. I had to stop and just really look at my own resume. And here we have this vacancy right here. Roberta, you love public policy. You love governance. You've shown you know how to do it. You have hands-on experience, not just executive or administrative experience at an agency, but you also have the operational leadership experience. So that means you know how to thrust, to take the vision and just propel, because you've come through the ranks. So after having a conversation with my family and God, because I don't do much without talking to them first, because I always tell people, when you start out on this type of venture, look around and see who's with you now, and that's who's going to be with you at the end.
That's right.
So I had to get permission from the family. I hosted the holiday and said, hey guys, I'm thinking I'm going to run for clerk. Tiffany's going to resign because she's interested in being the mayor of Orange County, because our mayor is termed out. And so it's her time to jump out now, or she has to wait another 8 years.
And And you've spoke a lot about your qualifications and what make you qualified. And I want to just talk about qualifications here because there seems to be some controversy that's been expressed online about your qualifications to serve and to be able to carry on in the clerk of the courts.
So Kimberly, let me just address this head on, because what we are experiencing right now is political banter, quite frankly. And some of it is coming by way or through my opponent, right? By way or through Tiffany's opponents. Even though we are two separate individuals running for two separate races. Let me add that. So the scrutiny that I've heard is that, and that I've been confronted with at a recent forum, an individual who claims to be running for sheriff in 2028 is now here in 2026 saying that I somehow might not be able to qualify for a public official bond, which is one of the requirements listed. It's a post requirement after election, because the bond is for you while you are serving in the seat, right? It is not so much for you, it's really for the people. It is just like an insurance policy. It's a surety policy. I have had a bond before because I've been president of my one of my local organizations that I'm a member of. That's 200 plus members. And as president, right, you get bonded because I now have the right to sign checks and I now have the right to make certain decisions. And so I was bonded, while I served my 2-year term as president. So I am fully aware this is a performance bond. This bond to be the next Orange County Clerk of Court, and all the constitutional offices have them. It is a surety about your performance when you get into office. It is not something that somehow disqualifies you to serve. Okay, that's A. B, he stood up at the forum and stated that and talked about, because I have something in my background from when I was 20 years old.
What?
32 years ago.
Oh, gosh.
I wish I could give you the actual
mercy.
number of years, but I worked as a bank teller and I made a very juvenile decision to cash a check for a guy. And that happens. But I have been more than open and transparent about that. And I'm more than accountable for it, because I think accountability matters. And so when I say accountable for it, I mean, I literally made it right, helped them press charges against him, of whom came through my drive-through and I cashed a check for, accepted the probation and what I got from the courts, successfully completed it, paid restitution for me and everybody else so that I could move on, and then went through the process that Florida has to receive my rights and to move on with my life. Subsequent to that, I went to law school and went to law school 3 years, passed the bar the first time, and then became a licensed practitioner here to practice law in the state of Florida.
So why are we even bringing that up?
I think he's looking at the box, and he's made people believe that just by virtue of me having this in my background, that I'm somehow disqualified, which is not true.
Absolutely.
And he's made them believe that the question is a one-part question, because that's the only thing he keeps talking about. He has not questioned my opponent. Well, I take that back. He questioned my opponent and said, does that prohibit either of you? And only limited to that one, which is 1C, right? But it is a 1A, a 1B, a 1C, D, and E. And there are other parts of this question that my opponent has to also say yes to.
Oh, wow.
Quite frankly, because of things that have occurred while he served in office.
Okay.
And so I say that to say this is political banter. And that means otherwise defined as noise and a distraction. And I have just remained very focused on me and why I am the best candidate, why I am the only licensed attorney asking to be the voters' next Orange County Clerk of Court, why I am the only candidate with any type of court operational or clerk administrative experience asking the voters, can I serve as your next Orange County Clerk of Court? I not only that, but I'm also the only candidate that has trusted leaders from this community standing with me saying, I endorse her to be the next Orange County Clerk of Court. Meaning I have the clerk, I have the sitting clerk, I have the public defender, I have the state attorney, I have the property appraiser, I have several senators, several representatives, several community advocates, like the former retired Orange County Comptroller, the retired Chief Judge from the Ninth Judicial Circuit, Mayor Dyer, Congressman Maxwell Frost, and several other leaders who said, this is my candidate for Clerk of Court. So as you know, Tiffany Moore Russell is the sitting clerk, but she is a candidate for Orange County Mayor. She's endorsing me. Candidate for city mayor, and Oscar Money is endorsing me. So I'm talking about what this gentleman is talking about is noise and banter, because and to sum it up and answer your question, I am more than qualified.
You are more than qualified
to be the next Orange County Clerk.
I have my paralegal degree, but you kind of make me feel like I need to go back to
Absolutely not.
Complete the rest of the process here, because you are more than qualified.
More than qualified.
Endorsed
extensively.
Yes. And I really hope that we can kind of lay that to rest, because we are this process, this democratic process of voting and getting the right person, in the seat that you're going to be in is very important, because we have no time to play with the minds of our voters,
Absolutely. And what I've said too is I call it the clerk's office the gateway.
Yes.
For individuals to access the court.
Absolutely.
Because you have to come through that threshold in order to have your day in court, right?
And not to stop you, but given that you've already been well submerged.
Yes. And so with that, in order to do that, we shouldn't politicize the gateway.
Absolutely not.
Right? Everything that we do at the clerk's office, and we talked a little bit about that prior to the interview getting started, but everything we do is ministerial in nature, meaning everything we do is lockstep in order. It's either a court order, it's a court rule, or it's a statute.
And those are important documents, you guys.
Everything. Even the documents and the forms come directly down from the Florida Supreme Court. And if they're not Florida Supreme Court approved forms at the clerk's office, then they are circuit approved forms approved directly from the chief judge. So it's not that we're making independent decisions at the clerk's office. We are ministerial. Everything we do is by court order, court rule, or statute. That's why it is so important that the next clerk of court be immersed in a deep understanding of the law.
Yes.
And court operations.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, because this is a serious.
Absolutely.
And you are, again, more than qualified, and you have even stated here so many times that these documents have to be safe kept, and you have to have the level, like I said, I've experienced being at the courthouse, and just the level of professionalism, the way it's run right now. We would need someone that's ready on day one.
Absolutely. On day one. And there is only one candidate that will be ready to lead on day one. Unfortunately, everybody else would literally have to go figure it out.
And we can't afford it. We can't afford it. We need a easy transition, and we need someone who's going to be capable of ensuring that their
Absolutely.
staff is going to keep up with the good work you're doing now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm pretty proud of my record of service. And certainly I'm excited about what the future has in store for this community, and certainly as the next Orange County Clerk report. I hope the voters are doing their due diligence. I would love for the voters, please, if you need any additional information about me in this campaign, please visit voteroberta.com, vote, ROBERTA.com, and certainly that will take you to my website where my bio is there, and it gives you some insight about my vision once elected, and all my endorsements.
And we're going to actually put Roberta's information here. So as you're watching the video, you're going to see it pop up where you can contact her and you can contribute to her campaign still.
Absolutely.
If you would like to
Yes.
contribute. We know today is the first day of early voting, August 3rd. So how has your first day been so far?
Oh my God. So through this, I will tell you, I am still employed, right, and working. But today, I took time off because I wanted to get the day started right. And my team, many of them, and I were waving signs at the different sites, just trying to make sure that if voters had questions. This is a large county, so I do need more volunteers to come help sign wave, so that we can, reach all points of this large county. But certainly, just want voters to know I really appreciate everyone who's coming out to vote. Voting is important.
It's very important.
It is ingrained in the heart of who we are as a people. Democracy is, and our opportunity to be heard. This is our opportunity to be heard.
What can you tell someone that's on the line, that's hearing some of the banter that's going online right now? What is something that they should really focus on in, getting you elected and voting for the right candidate?
I say drown out the noise, because that's certainly what I am doing, and do your own homework. Go to my website. Go to my opponent's website. Hit Google. I will tell you, hit Google. Google is priceless. Recently, my opponent has been showing up with a billboard about Google reviews from Google saying, the clerk's office, it's poorly, it's not serving the public from a customer service perspective. I say, okay, you hit Google the clerk's office, Google Roberta Walton Johnson, but also Google my opponent. Make sure that you have a wealth of information, and then take your notes with you to the ballot box and make a decision about who do you think is the right individual to serve as the next Orange County Clerk of Court.
And should they expect long lines, or what do you?
No.
Not right now.
Not right now. You will not expect long lines. I think our Supervisor of Elections Office has done a wonderful job in securing new early voting sites. There are 28 early voting sites throughout the county, right? And so there are enough sites, I think, to spread the love, coupled with those individuals who do have their vote by mail ballots. Those individuals who live on in West Orange County, like myself. Please note also that the Supervisor of Elections just opened up a brand new satellite office in West Oaks Mall for individuals to come and drop off their vote by mail ballots, or or secure additional resources as they prepare themselves. But we have 2 weeks of early voting. Election day is on August 18th. This is a Democratic primary, so I've had a couple of people saying, hey, Roberta, I don't see your name on my ballot. And I'm like, then you might not be a Democrat. A lot of people don't realize that the clerk of court's race is partisan, but all of our constitutional officers are. And so what's key is in this particular race, this constitutional office, which happens to be a member of the judicial branch, all of the rest of them are members of the executive, um, and so in this instance, we we have the judicial races all around us that are nonpartisan, but the clerk's race is still partisan.
Well, thank you for bringing that up too. There's a reason why I'm trying to leave no one with any excuses as to why they can't get out and vote early. Okay, and then you brought up a great point. So if you're a Republican, you can't.
If you're a Republican, you're going to have a ballot.
Okay.
You just won't right now. There is no Republican candidate running to be the next Orange County Clerk of Court.
Okay.
There are 2 Democrats who, and there are 3 people who will be on the ballot. My opponent actually sued the other individual.
Oh my God.
And so she has since withdrew from the race. Her name is Maribel Gomez Cordero. And so Maribel has withdrawn from the race after the lawsuit was filed against her. And so now, but it was too late. The ballots had already been printed. So I will say to voters, Miss Maribel Gomez Cordero has withdrawn from the race. So savor your vote, because the 2 candidates that are still qualified and in this race is myself and my opponent. And so one of us will come out of this Democratic primary to face a non-party affiliate who has gotten in the race at the general election in November.
Well, you know what? Thank you for explaining that, because, in canvassing and just talking with some of the constituents, they're really confused about the process and what happens, and, different things that kind of catch you when you go to the election.
So, and everybody right now should be voting. Republicans has candidates that are Republican candidates, and they're also voting on nonpartisan races. Nonpartisan individuals, if you're an MPA, you're still going to get a ballot and you still can vote right now, because there is a list of nonpartisan races that are also on that MPA ballot.
Wow.
Okay. And then Democrats will also have a list of Democratic races along with the nonpartisan races on their ballot as well.
Wow.
So the partisan races are going to be on the Republican and the Democratic ballot, right? And then the non-party affiliate, those nonpartisan races, they're going to be on all 3 ballots.
Will it be okay for me to put a link in my YouTube page of where they can?
Absolutely.
Okay, find
absolutely.
You. Okay, so I will be also placing a link so you guys can find where you can get a hold of Roberta if you have questions.
Absolutely.
I just thank you so much for coming here and having this discussion with me today and breaking down a lot of information that I wasn't even aware of.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you think you may want to share? How do you start your morning off?
Well, you know what? In prayer.
In prayer. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you did say that.
Yes. I start every morning off in prayer because I really am grateful to be here. God has been extremely good to me. And I'm aware of that. And I hope I treat people, I hope in my actions in terms of the way I serve and the way I interact with people, I hope that comes off, because I am truly grateful to be a member of this community.
You're just like a bunch of goodness that I just need.
I really am grateful.
I listen, she has just brought me from a low to a high, and you know how you eat some sugar and I feel like she's just a bunch of sugar right now.
Listen.
And she has been so gracious and so polite and so knowledgeable. And I'm really happy that you decided to stop over to the interview and tell me about who you are. I've seen you at the Hobnob, which is fantastic.
Yes.
You did such an amazing job. And I know who I'm voting for.
Well, thank you.
I know who I'm voting for, and I can officially say that here on the interview that this is the one that I'm going with, Roberta. She knows a lot, and as I said, we need someone who's going to transition us very well, and that's going to be able to keep track of those documents. So
Yes.
thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of the interview. I hope you enjoy watching, and subscribe, like, and share with your friends. Have a great day.
Thank you.